In the quiet old town of Windrest, where fog curled around rooftops like sleepy ghosts, lived a strange and lonely man named Eldrin Greyfall, known to everyone simply as the Clockmaker. He wasn't famous for being friendly. He wasn't famous for being rich. He wasn't famous for anything except one thing. Every clock he touched ticked more perfectly than before. From wristwatches to towers, pocket clocks to giant gears, Eldrin could fix them all. Kids said he had gears instead of a heart. Adults said he was too quiet, too strange, but only Eldrin knew the truth. He could hear time, not like the tick-tock everyone else heard. A voice, a living thing. And then came the night everything changed. Eldrin was working alone in his dim workshop, lit only by the warm glow of oil lamps. All around him hung clocks of every size, ticking gently like 100 tiny hearts. But one sound was different, a faint cry, a trembling, desperate plea, coming from the back shelf. Eldrin froze. It was coming from a dusty, ancient pocket watch he had never opened before, the only item left from his father, who disappeared 30 years ago. When he touched it, the watch pulsed like it was alive. Suddenly, time itself bent. The clocks around him froze mid-tick. The flame of his lamp stopped mid-flicker. His own breath paused halfway out of his lungs. Everything was still, completely still, except him, and the voice whispered, "Eldrin, you are the last keeper. Time is breaking, and only you can mend it." The room shook. The pocket watch cracked open by itself, revealing a glowing blue gear floating in the air. Eldrin felt a force pull his hand forward. The gear sank into his palm, and the world exploded into motion again. But Eldrin stood trembling, because now time was listening to him, and he could feel a truth deep in his bones. His father had not disappeared. He had been taken by something that lived beyond time, and Eldrin was next. Time behaved strangely the next morning. The sun rose late. Birds chirped early, and Eldrin's workshop chimed at the wrong hours. He tried to ignore it, but the pocket watch kept whispering. When he held it, the world slowed. When he closed it, the world rushed forward. He could freeze moments. He could stretch seconds. He could rewind tiny mistakes. But every time he used the power, the watch's cracks grew deeper, as if warning him. That night, as Eldrin sat repairing a tower bell gear, a cold wind swept through the room, even though the windows were closed. Then the shadows moved, slowly, unnaturally. From the corner of the workshop, a tall, thin figure stepped forward. Its face was hidden beneath a hood of swirling dust. Its fingers were long, jointless, ticking like metal. And its voice sounded like hundreds of clocks speaking together. Keeper of time, return what is not yours. Eldrin stumbled back. What are you? The creature tilted its head. A chronivore. We feed on broken hours, stolen seconds, forbidden minutes. Its fingers clicked menacingly. You have touched the gear of Eternum. You are not worthy. Eldrin's heartbeat stuttered. The chronivore lunged instinctively. Eldrin shouted, "Stop." Time froze. The creature hung mid-air like a statue. But Eldrin noticed something terrifying. Even frozen, its eyes moved, slowly, watching him, fighting the freeze, cracking the stillness. The watch in Eldrin's hand burned hot. A new whisper emerged. Run while the freeze holds. Eldrin didn't think, didn't breathe, didn't look back. He grabbed his coat, his father's journal, and sprinted into the night. Behind him, the chronivore broke free with a scream that split the air. Time itself was hunting him. Eldrin escaped to the abandoned observatory on the hilltop, the very place where his father disappeared. Inside, he found dusty blueprints, broken gears larger than carts, and strange spirals carved into the walls. His father had been researching something called the 13th hour, a hidden hour, a forbidden hour, a hour that shouldn't exist. Eldrin discovered letters addressed to him, never sent. If you're reading this, Eldrin, I didn't leave you. Time took me. There are creatures who live between seconds. If they reach the 13th hour, time will collapse. Eldrin felt his throat tighten. His father had known this day would come. Before he could read more, a soft gasp came from the corner. A girl, about 17, stood there, clutching a bag of gears. Who are you? Dordan asked. I'm Mara, she said. My father was a clockmaker too. He vanished last year. Eldrin's blood ran cold. Mara opened her palm, revealing a glowing blue gear, just like his. There are more of us, she said. The watch chose you too. Before Eldrin could respond, a thunderous boom echoed through the observatory. The chronivores had found them, and time was running out. 3 chronivores surrounded the observatory. The building shook violently as their shadows seeped through cracks like smoke. Mara pulled Eldrin toward a metal chamber hidden under the floor. This is a time shield, she explained breathlessly, built by our fathers. It can hold them off for a while. The chamber sealed shut just in time as black tendrils scraped the metal from outside. Inside, blue runes glowed on the walls. Eldrin noticed 7 empty slots. Mara whispered, the 7 gears of Eternum. Your father found one. Mine found another. We need all 7 to lock the 13th hour forever. Eldrin pulled out his glowing gear. Mara placed hers beside it. 2 slots filled with blue light. 5 remained empty. Outside, the chronivores shrieked, shaking the chamber. Mara looked terrified. Eldrin felt his own fear crawling through his bones. But the watch whispered, "Listen. Time speaks the truth." And suddenly, Eldrin understood. Every clockmaker who ever went missing, every strange second, every broken hour, it all connected. Their fathers hadn't been kidnapped. They had been chosen. And now, Eldrin and Mara were the next keepers. The chronivores finally left after hours of clawing at the chamber. When dawn arrived, Eldrin and Mara set out to find the remaining gears. Their father's notes led them to the echoing canyon where sound repeats from the future. The crystal caverns where time slows into glowing crystals. The sunken bell tower where hours drown but never die. Each place held a gear guarded by a time beast. They fought creatures made of vibrating seconds, shifting shadows, and collapsing echoes. They nearly died twice, but Eldrin grew stronger each time he used the watch. And each time, the cracks in it grew deeper. Mara warned him, one day it might break completely. Eldrin nodded, but said nothing. If breaking the watch meant saving his father, he would break 1,000 watches. After weeks of danger, exhaustion, and near disasters, they finally gathered all 7 gears. But something was wrong. The moment Eldrin placed the final gear in the chamber slot, the entire world shuddered. The sky tore open like fabric. Clouds froze mid-motion. Birds hung still in the air. Every clock in the world stopped. The 13th hour had begun. The chronivores emerged in swarms, dozens, maybe hundreds, crawling across the sky like shadows come alive. And from within the tier, a massive figure stepped out, tall as a tower, eyes like dying stars, crown of shattered clocks. The Time King, the creature spoke, shaking mountains. Return the gears, or time shall feed on itself forever. Eldrin and Mara stood trembling. The Time King pointed at Eldrin. Your father tried to resist. You will fail too. The watch on Eldrin's wrist cracked loudly. This was the final moment. The moment the universe would decide whether to live or split into endless dying loops. Everything froze, not because Eldrin commanded it, but because the 13th hour consumed all motion. Only Eldrin could move, barely. He saw Mara struggling to lift her arm, trapped in slow time. He saw chronivores swirling like black hurricanes. He saw the tear in the sky widening, and then he saw someone standing inside the tear. A familiar figure. His father. Dad, Eldrin whispered. His father smiled sadly. "You're stronger than I ever was, Eldrin," the Time King roared. "He does not belong to this hour." Eldrin's father reached out. "The watch chose you, not to fight, but to finish my work." Eldrin felt tears blur his vision. "What do I do?" His father whispered, "Break the watch." Eldrin froze. "No, if I break it, I lose the power." "And if you keep it," his father said, "the 13th hour will stay open forever." Eldrin understood. He would lose the ability to freeze time. He would lose his only connection to his father. He would lose everything, but he would save the world. He took a deep breath, held the watch tight, and smashed it against the ground. The explosion of light was blinding. The gears in the chamber glowed like suns. The chronivores screamed and dissolved. The Time King shattered like glass. The 13th hour folded into itself and vanished. And Eldrin's father faded slowly. "Dad, I'm proud of you, my son." He disappeared with the last collapsing spark of forbidden time. Eldrin fell to his knees, trembling. Mara rushed to him as the world regained motion. "It's over," Mara whispered. Eldrin wiped his tears. "No," he said softly, "it's beginning." Because from that day forward, Eldrin Greyfall became the new keeper of time, not with magic, not with power, but with wisdom. The world never knew how close it came to ending, but every clock chimed a little cleaner afterward, as if thanking the clockmaker who saved time itself.